The CIA seems to be joining Trump in withholding evidence of Trump's crimes. It's mind-boggling. Check this out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Adam Schiff says that the stonewalling, the cover-up, the White House cover-up, is now metastasizing. It started in the White House, and then it went to the Department of Justice with Bill Barr redacting huge parts of the Mueller report and still denying you and I the right to see any of the grand jury testimony. So we don't know who said what about what crimes Trump committed or even what they all may be. So it's the cover-up started in the White House, then it goes to Bill Barr in the Department of Justice, then it goes over to Mick Mulvaney in the Office of Management and Budget. The OMB, Mick Mulvaney, is the guy who specifically ordered the Pentagon, 91 minutes after Trump's phone call with Zelensky, specifically ordered them to withhold that military aid to Ukraine, a country in a state of war. An ally of ours in a state of war. We're going to withhold this money until you trash Joe Biden. And Mick Mulvaney has admitted that on national television. Of course we did it. Get over it, he said. And that's the essence of their argument before the Senate in this 6-page response and in their initial response. Is what the president did is not impeachable? Get over it. But now it's metastasized. It has grown into, apparently, the CIA as well. Schiff is the head of the Intelligence Committee in the House of Representatives. They have oversight over the CIA and basically all of our intelligence agencies. And so he reaches out to the CIA and he says, I want to see documents that have to do with Trump and Zelensky. And the CIA says, no, you can't see them. We're not going to give them to you. And then on top of that, they typically have an open committee hearing every year, both the House and Senate Intelligence Committees, where they bring in the heads of the intelligence agencies to tell us what the real threats are to our country. And a year ago in those hearings, as they were questioning senior officials, I mean, Gina Haspel, the head of the CIA, the head of the NSA, the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, I mean, there you go right down the list. Person after person after person acknowledged that foreign governments interfering in our elections, specifically in the case of most of this testimony in Russia, but more broadly speaking, foreign governments interfering in our election was a major security threat. And this so angered Donald Trump that now these guys are afraid to testify because they would have to testify under oath. And if they're under oath, they have to tell the truth. If they have to tell the truth, they got to say, there are foreign governments that want Donald Trump to be president, that wanted him to be president in 2016, that helped make him president in 2016, and that want to see him be reelected as president in 2020. And so they're refusing to come to Congress. Cipollone, in his 7-page letter, he goes on to say that the reason, why did we have impeachment? Why was it written into the Constitution? The argument that the president's lawyers are putting forward now is that it was in the Constitution back when the country was, and I quote from Cipollone's letter, or his rebuttal, not just Cipollone, it was the Trump team's rebuttal to the Democrats' argument. They say basically the impeachment clause is BS. It was written when the United States was, quote, a fledgling, debt-ridden republic situated on the seaboard of a vast wilderness continent. I mean, isn't that mind-boggling? They're saying that, no, there shouldn't be any impeachment because basically the impeachment clause was put in there way back in another time, another era, when America was a different country, and the concern about foreign entanglements. You keep in mind, I mean, George Washington's farewell address, the whole battle between between Adams and Jefferson, all of if you go back and look at the early history of this country, what people were terrified of was foreign entanglements. And yes, it's true. The Spanish held Florida. The British held Canada to our south and our north. Louisiana was held by the French. or the Louisiana Territory. And there were, a lot of really seriously angry Native Americans to the west. So, yeah, we were, quote, a fledgling debt-ridden republic situated on the seaboard of a vast American continent. But that doesn't mean that they thought impeachment should only be there for 10 or 20 years. They put it in the Constitution. It's for all time. Which is not to say that the Constitution or the people who wrote it were some kind of geniuses. I mean, I think many of them were very smart, but, it wasn't like this is the revealed word of God. These were just people. And I don't mean to be making, Trump's argument here that this whole thing about foreign entanglements is trumped by the fact that we're now a superpower. I mean, this is how they're saying, Ukraine is, quote, a comparatively small European republic. They don't have, quote, vast treasures at their disposal to actually buy off the chief executive. In other words, the Trump people are arguing that Ukraine is too poor to buy off Trump, to get military aid in exchange for trashing Joe Biden. They're just too poor to do that. Whereas, George Washington, he wasn't that rich. Or let me rephrase that. Back in George Washington's day, England had enough power and enough money. France had enough power and enough money. Spain had enough power and enough money to buy off the president. That you had to worry about. But now we're the superpower. We can't be bought off. This is the argument that the Republicans are putting forward, and it's complete nonsense. It's pretty breathtaking in its audacity. In fact, it's very breathtaking in its audacity. The impeachment clause doesn't even serve a purpose anymore.